Hey there, welcome to the UkeStuff channel and welcome to this full UkeGuide review. This instrument, this is the Todo Fuji solid spruce top concert ukulele. The label inside says it's the UTD-B20C. This instrument was sent to me for review purposes by Todo, so I want to thank them for that, but that is also why this is marked as a paid sponsorship. Now, I'm not paid to review this, but this instrument was sent to me for review purposes, and you need to know that as you watch this video. Now, what we're going to do in this video is, first of all, we will look at some subjective categories that we do with all instruments. Then we'll give the specifications, and then finally I'll summarize the instrument and give it a UkeGuide rating out of 5 possible ukuleles. If you want to support the work on this channel, there are 3 things you can do. First of all, you can like this video. Second, you can subscribe to this channel and its sister channel, Uke Play-Alongs. And then third, you can always buy me a cup of coffee to say thank you for making this content at www.buymeacoffee.com/UkeStuff. All right, let's jump into the subjective categories. First of all, it's $119 on Amazon. Now, in terms of value, I think you're pretty much getting what you pay for here. So you get the ukulele, you get the gig bag, which overall is pretty nice. It has the bumper on the bottom, it has the hanging part here, has lightly cushioned straps, and then a nicely cushioned handle, pocket in the front. And on the inside, you actually sort of get a fabric plus the Velcro strip here to hold it in place. That's a pretty good bag, and I'd say it's about 10 to 15 millimeters of padding in there. I don't measure that, so it's a decent bag, so no question about that. They give you a capo. Again, I like to see an ukulele capo just because these hang off the ends, so I'm not so crazy about that. They give you a strap because the instrument does have strap buttons, so that is nice, and it also has that Fuji theme on it. And then they give you a cleaning cloth, whatever. Plastic picks, which I do not use on ukulele and don't suggest using because these instruments really aren't made for that. Most ukuleles don't have a pick guard. So if you're going to use the pick, usually it's going to be a leather or a felt, but it does include that as well. And I think for $119 for the instrument that you're getting and the bag, I think that's about right where price meets value, if not a little better. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Now, in terms of build quality, it looks great. It has some top-end features like semi-hemispherical fret ends, so you'll never get a sharp fret end popping out. That is really nice. I do like the more standard treatment of this. I'll do a comparison with the Todo Love that I was sent as well, just so you can see the two differences. But I don't mind the little Fuji theme here. That isn't overbearing, doesn't bother me at all. we'll get into appearance, I would like that to match the fretboard too, but otherwise it's got really low action, it's got a solid spruce top, so I think that the value is good. The build quality, again, is just, it looks good. You know, you have a joint up there, you have a joint in the heel that's evident there. The laminate mahogany looks just fine, the spruce looks nice and straight. It's cleanly built. There's obviously no sharp fret ends with those semi-hemispherical fret ends. The tuners work just fine. You sort of have a Canalea sort of headstock on the top. So yeah, and it comes with strap buttons. I'm pretty pleased with what I'm seeing with build quality, but let's take a look at the inside. So again, I use an endoscope. I call it the internal Uke Cam. We just take a look at the inside of the instrument. Now, again, the inside of an instrument does not mean that it's good or bad. It just shows you the care with which it is built. So let's do this. Jumping down to the tail block, you can see the pull-through bridge there that it goes through. It looks like you do have a bridge support plate, but the holes come through just underneath that plate or on top of that plate. So I would like to see those holes come through the bridge plate. So as a note to Todo, it'd be great if that bridge plate was designed in such a way that those holes could pop through the bridge plate. I would also use beads on those knots rather than just the knots themselves. That's just me, but that'd be another suggestion I would make. Otherwise, it's a super clean build on the inside. You can see that the instrument has one brace coming down the top, it looks like. You do have a bridge plate, although, you know, the position is a little questionable. You have a tail block. You have very clean kerfing on the inside notch kerfing. You have supports on the back of the instrument. All right, let's take a look at the upper bout. It's always hard to get far enough back here, but there's your tail block, there's your notch kerfing. It's super clean as a build. Just a little bit of glue mess right at the top there if you can see it. It's really, really slight. Super clean build on this Todo Fuji ukulele, which they have labeled as the UTD B20C. All right, now in terms of appearance, really the only non-traditional piece here is the mountainscape, and that actually does look pretty good, although I'd like to see the wood itself be the same as the rosewood bridge there. So I would like that color to match up there. I don't mind the highlights being lighter, that'd be great, but I would like to see the color be the same as the fretboard. I think that would look really good. And that does offset, along with the abalone rosette there, that does offset the paleness of that spruce. But that's the color of spruce if you've got a solid spruce top. Now here's the only weird part. On the back of the heel is a quality control sticker. Now I know you can peel it off. It's just an odd place to put it, especially when they already have that sticker at the top of the back of the headstock. In terms of availability, as I'm recording this video, these are available right now on Amazon. There is a mahogany, solid mahogany top that's listed as well that is not available. That would be a fun comparison as well, the spruce versus the mahogany. In terms of playability, overall it's pretty good. The action is low. Again, the semi-hemispherical fret ends are wonderful because you're not going to get any sharp fret ends ever. Action is low without buzzing, and it has a basic 35mm nut with common string spacing, so that's all fine. The only negative again is the deep C-shaped neck that Todo has been using on their instruments, and I would love to see that be a little bit more of a D-shaped rather than that deep C-shaped neck. In terms of sound quality, it is open but balanced. It's a little more loud. It's not a super loud instrument. It's not super loud, not quiet. There are some overtones popping out, but the sustain disappears pretty quickly, so I'll show you. By the time I get to 4, the sound is pretty much gone, and I'm not sure why that is, even if I hold it away from my body. Maybe a little longer, but not by much. So the sustain isn't really there. Now, what I have noticed is that I think this instrument overall, it can be used for strumming, is better for picking and strumming. So strum, and then do some picking. Yeah, so I think the picking actually sounds better on this instrument. So the sound is good. The volume is not super loud, and the tone is balanced slightly more towards the bright side. Another thing I do in these videos is I let you see what I'm hearing by playing the C chord, or whatever the most open chord is on the instrument, into Tonal Energy Tuner, and let you see what happens with the harmonic energy. Here we go. Yeah, Tonal Energy Tuner seems to be picking up a lot of the low end and not much of the high end frequencies there. They're there, it's balanced, but Tonal Energy Tuner is definitely hearing more on the lower end, whereas in person I'm hearing more of the brightness of the instrument. All right, now that we've gone over the subjective categories, let's get into the specifications of the instrument. It is a concert ukulele with a measured scale length of 14.875 inches, so it's just short of 15 inches from nut to saddle. The number of frets is 18 with 14 to the body. There are side position markers, and the body style is a traditional double bout. The soundboard is solid spruce. The back and sides are laminate mahogany. The fretboard is rosewood. I think the bridge is mainly walnut, and it is a pull-through bridge, which is different than the other tom that I recently reviewed. It is not a radius fretboard, but again, you do have the really good semi-hemispherical ended frets there. The nut and saddle appear to be made out of plastic. That's another area that the company could improve on by using new bone or bone. The saddle is not compensated. Doesn't seem like it needs to be because the harmonics are all functioning where they're supposed to be. And the finish is a matte finish. So, satin on the back and sides, but that top is definitely a matte finish. The overall length is 24.1875 inches because of the extra bumps there on the headstock design. It weighs 1 pound, 0.2 ounces, so it's pretty light. It has closed geared tuners that work well. The action at the first fret is 0.21 millimeters, really low, and the action at the 12th fret is 2.26 millimeters, so this instrument doesn't buzz, but it's really easy to play. The nut width is 35.4 millimeters, and the space between strings at the first fret is 8.9 millimeters or 29.2 millimeters G to A, so it's a little bit wider than usual string spacing for a 35 millimeter nut instrument. The depth of the neck at the third fret is 21.5 millimeters, which is really my biggest criticism of this instrument, is that I wish that neck was slimmer. Incidentally, I did mention that on the Todo Love ukulele that there was a shim. I cannot tell if there's a shim on this instrument because of the design of that bridge, but I don't see it and I don't suspect that there is one there. All right, now we've talked about the subjective categories and the specifications. Let's get into a summary of this instrument. Again, this was sent to me for review purposes, so please keep that in mind as you watch this video. No payment was received for making the video, but the ukulele was sent to me. This is a solid spruce top ukulele with laminate mahogany back and sides. It is a much more traditional looking ukulele than the Todo Love ukulele that I recently reviewed. And this definitely appeals to me. I think that the mahogany version of this would even do more so. I'm just not such a fan of spruce top instruments myself. It's just a personal preference. The only non-traditional aspect of this instrument is the Fuji bridge here, which is attractive. I just like to see it in that same rosewood color as its primary color to match the fretboard. The instrument has got low action. It has, again, the semi-hemispherical fret ends, which means that you'll never have sharp fret ends. Now, do keep in mind that if you buy this instrument and you live in an area with low humidity, where at any point of the year the humidity goes below 45% relative humidity, you should humidify this instrument because of the solid top. The instrument has a balanced tone overall. It's not super loud, not super quiet. It leans towards bright, but I feel like it is better for finger picking than strumming, just in general. Doesn't mean that strumming's bad, but it seems to be better suited for me for finger picking. And again, the biggest criticisms really are that I'd like to see a thinner neck and I would like to see the bridge be in the same rosewood. And customer support from Todo seems very good as well. So this instrument, very much recommended to you. I think it's priced well. I think you get with that gig bag, that's the main thing that you need anyway with it. I think you're good to go. Just remember, if you live in an area with low humidity again, please again, humidify during that period of time when the humidity is low. All right, so what rating would I give this one? This one I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5 possible ukuleles. It's a nice, safe purchase, I think, for an Amazon ukulele for a starting instrument or a second instrument. Definitely recommended. All right, thanks again to Todo for sending this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.